It's taken a while. I guess sometimes it goes. Oh, there we go. We're live now.
Does it make
Awesome.
different colors?
Yep. We can do
Yeah.
all kinds of fun
Oh
colors.
yeah, I thought it's been read before. Hey, you guys, John. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. I've been having one of those like everything I touch turns electronically moist because it's like blockers and
It
everything. Like
collapses.
nothing is working. It's totally yeah. I have my headphones on and I'm not even whatever.
All these
Okay, so
wonderful
look
people. Thanks for joining
at
in. So,
everybody, you guys. A lot of these people were just on with Zeb and Lev. Hey, Sandra Tuttle, haven't seen you in a while. Good to
so
see
uh
all of you.
get us up to date, Kat. I've been off the internet for like 2 hours, so I'm like a year behind.
Oh,
Oh, somebody said they can't hear. Can other people hear okay? Maybe you just
can
have
you
to
hear
turn up your
me?
I guess people are
I'm
saying
sorry, like I said, I'm having internet problems. I'm having headphone problems. I'm just having problems.
I can hear you good. I'm seeing a lot of hearts, so we'll just assume it's good. I'm not seeing any more
Okay,
complaints.
keep us posted if you can't hear anything. Okay, so the drama happened this afternoon. Well, it's been going on, as you guys know, with Michael Cohen. Michael was caught definitely lying, finally caught lying. He had been really aggressing against his paid subscribers. I was a paid subscriber.
Yeah.
I've been a follower of Michael and Lev in particular because I'm super interested in people who make those really amazing changes in their life. I call it the 180. Like if you've been
Uh-huh.
doing because I work with addicts a lot as well.
Mhm.
So I love it when somebody is on a path of destruction or doing things that are, you know,
Yeah.
not good for anyone and then make this amazing, beautiful change for good. And I saw that Lev for sure did it, but I was always questioning that there was something missing there. And it does appear that Michael, he was lying to us.
Yeah.
He said he didn't know much about didn't know anything about Epstein, never worked
Yeah.
with Epstein, blah, blah, blah. And then yet he came out with Tara Palmieri and said, except for this one girl I met in the Bronx, he called her an infant
Yeah.
and tried to cover for that. The reality was that he had met with an Epstein victim and then it got buried. And it does
It
seem like it might be related to Katie Johnson. It was around that same time
yes.
period.
And it sounded like it was a lot of pressure. I'd heard about that where it sounded like he sent somebody to intimidate this person who was a survivor, and that's really offensive and ugly.
Exactly. Exactly. And what grows even more disgusting to me is this week as he came out in the Epstein files. One of the followers of Ellie found it and sent it
Yes.
to Ellie, and she exposed it, and that he was clearly in the Epstein files. And then Michael calls Comer the House Investigation Committee, and who Comer is the head of, to say that Letitia James and Alvin Bragg coerced him into his
Yeah.
confession and that he wants some sort of court reform. Okay, so you've been with us this whole time, but you think that James Comer is the guy to make court reform? I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit. He's clearly looking for a pardon. He told Lev he wanted a pardon, and get this, and this is what Lev broke earlier. He mentioned it earlier too, is that George Santos was involved. Michael reached out to George Santos and Lev, asking for deeper connections in the White House, asking for a pardon. And
Mhm.
so Tara and Lev called George Santos live on air. And Santos immediately like said no and then said, yes, that happened, but I'm keeping it to myself. Anyway, he didn't know it was
Yeah.
all live on air. So it was just sort of funny, not funny, but yeah, really, Michael has been dishonest.
Okay.
What do you think?
This is one of those things where it's like, I did not need any more evidence to know that these were all awful people. And I do appreciate what you said before about people that legitimately make a change. But I think everybody also who's on here on Substack has to recognize that we live in a country that suppresses viewpoints. And these people come onto platforms like Substack to try to gobble up all the sponsorship so that people are actually advocating for real things. They don't have any kind of platform and they're not able to really help people. And so, you got these millionaires who come on this and they use their celebrity status to stop certain viewpoints from ever getting discussed. And I keep getting really upset that Adam Kinzinger doesn't bring us on. He won't talk to us None of these guys will platform us and talk to us. All they do is they set themselves up as these authoritarian figures who are defenders of the status quo. And those people who defend the status quo are in for themselves. So everybody be real discerning about who you send your hard-earned money to. Don't send it to these people that aren't standing up for you. And you can tell. You can tell who the good ones are. They're the ones that are willing to listen to diverse voices. They platform those voices. They change their perspective. They're not hostile. They're not aggressive where they try to push back against completely reasonable questions. And as we enter this kind of new media, we just have to realize, I mean, so much of what's owned, the mainstream media, it's all owned by oligarchs. It's all designed to suppress narratives. We have to embrace that reality where we must demand things like universal health care, reproductive rights, universal education, fair wages, all these things. And you don't have any obligation to fund a millionaire who claims he's turned over a new leaf, even though he never stands for anything that would actually help anybody. So, I do appreciate that impulse when it's sincere and when somebody really is trying to help. But most of those times that those people that are sincere, they get pushed off to the side too. So most of the time when these people manage to rise up and get really big, it's because they're corrupt.
I don't, Michael for sure. I know he had at least 80,000 followers the last time I saw, and then he got
Paid
pulled on by
subscribers,
Midas
right?
Touch.
Or just
I
80,000
no,
follow.
I don't. I'm
Oh,
not really sure. I just know the number 80,000, but I do know that Midas Touch makes $250,000 a month and brought him on. So,
yeah.
there's
Well, the
money going on there, and you're right. Hey, Debbie, there I mean, a lot of us and I loved what they were just saying, you missed it, Walter, that what Waj and Zev and Lev were saying is that the White House is clearly watching what we're doing over here on Substack, and they're
good.
watching what we are doing, because even though we might not have the most subscribers and the most money, we are telling the truth,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I don't hide behind a paywall, and I know Walter doesn't either, and we are here because we are
yeah,
passionate about our country, and we are passionate to help others, and we
yeah.
wanna get the truth out to the best of our ability,
Well,
and, that's why I'm here,
yeah. All
I'm
my
broke as shit right now, but this
yeah.
is so important. I mean, my kids, I know Walter's kids are young as well. I mean, this is super important.
Yes.
This is the future of our entire way of life.
Yes. And all my stuff is free too, but again, it's like I really do need the support. I need it a lot more than people like Adam Kinzinger, who's a multimillionaire already. And it's really hard when, it's hard when people come to me and say, "I love what you do, but I can't support you." And then I check and they're supporting people like Michael Cohen and Adam Kinzinger. I will give how do they call themselves? Midas Touch. They deplatformed Cohen, so I'll give them credit. They hurt us. But I mean, yeah, they're making all this money too, and it's just, we really do need to have, I mean, this viewpoint, the reason they're so aggressive in suppressing this viewpoint is because this is what everybody wants. And we want that universal health care. And all we need is 3% of the population. I've already seen it. I was having massive subscriber growth platforms. This happens to me every single platform I'm on. I get a lot of people that like, this is really interesting. What you're saying is really important. A lot of people are following me. And then somebody turns off the tap at some point. Happens over and over again. Thank you, all you people, for being here. But please, please, please. I mean, if you're subscribing
Yes,
to a lot of
thank you
people,
for all for being here.
yes, but if you're subscribing to people with those purple check marks, we don't need to be a kingmaker here on independent media. If they've got a purple check mark, they're doing fine. Unsubscribe from them. Subscribe to people like
I don't even
Arturo,
know what a purple
Extreme
check mark
Arturo.
means.
Yeah, that's their tens of thousands of paid subscribers. That's what that means. The solid orange one means you have 1,000 paid subscribers up to, I guess it would be up to 9,999. So just be discerning about that, because we need as many voices as possible. And the reason we got into this mess is that a small elite group are the ones that are get to control all narratives. So just look for the people that are platforming a lot of diverse voices. We need to hear diverse perspectives. It can't just be like the assholes with Ivy League degrees who live in gated communities who are lecturing to us all the time. Let's hear from cooks and waitresses and taxi drivers and school teachers. Everybody needs to have their voice heard. And again, you look at our media, the movies are all about just one little social demographic. We deserve to hear the stories about people who grew up and in hardship and had to really struggle. I mean, we never get to hear any of that. And because we don't hear any of that, we lose our humanity. And I'm really concerned right now about what's going on in Minnesota. We'll get to that in a minute. I'll let you talk. I'm getting on a
Hold
rant.
on. I have to say something about Walter because I was watching you earlier today, Walter, and Walter was a teacher before, and I didn't realize that, Walter. I've also been a teacher. I've taught the very little and college or university. But Walter was talking about how kids who don't listen, when you start telling the truth about things, all of a sudden they're the ones paying attention. I've also worked at the juvenile court, and that is so true. When I would go for my one on one, what I did was diagnostics with the kids. And if you go one on one, and I would just sort of like ask them real questions about themselves and their real life because I started finding these form questions weren't really working. And
Yeah.
the second you really like ask a deep question, they will like go off and tell you
Yeah.
everything because they
Yep.
just are been starved for someone to listen to what they have to say. And I found like I was there for 2 years and 1,000 kids, I pretty much, and their parents and their teachers and their siblings that I would interview that if they were just put in an environment where somebody was halfway supportive or interested, that they
Yeah.
would make a change like that. I mean, they
Yes.
didn't want to be in this this negative world that they were in.
Yes. Yep. And just narrative suppression. We were talking today was with William Spivey, who's brilliant. You should all be supporting
Oh,
him.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Eh, and Will Fullwood, who is brilliant, he's helped me so much, and we're just getting these are the people whose voices we need to hear. People who have endured hardship. I mean, I just don't understand it. Why are so many people on Substack turning over their money to people who have, like Kinziger had the
You already
universal
have
health
money.
care. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got all this. He should be doing everything for free anyway. And it's like,
I agree.
and he's just posting like snarky memes where he's making fun of the president. That's not helping us. You need to be
He's not
denouncing
telling us what to do. He's not moving us forward. I mean,
yeah.
you're exactly right.
And he's not denouncing the domestic terror threat that ICE is these days. Yeah, everybody they just spread it around. And in the conversation we had today, we just talked about how white supremacy targets your children because white supremacy, if they try to target a fully formed adult who is emotionally mature, that person will say, "Get out of here with that nonsense." Again, we are under attack by white supremacists. The KKK is a domestic terrorist organization. People pretend this doesn't exist. All this hatred and hostility is allowed to exist because of white apathy. This is the same thing where nobody's really as upset as they need to be about Renee Nicole Good getting shot. I mean, just the loss of life there, all the loss of life in Venezuela, all these horrible atrocities, and nobody's seeing. I've got friends in Minnesota. The things that ICE is doing in Minnesota are horrific. And Border Patrol's in Minnesota too. They've been horrific since their inception. They've been doing
Okay.
awful things.
I have to speak because I just posted my first article, you guys, with the Firebrand Project today. Shane approved
Oh,
it.
good.
We
Excellent.
worked on it all week. It's about ICE. And I literally made the argument because I had already been looking just basic AI questions. What's the difference between law enforcement and secret police? ICE met all the criteria for secret police. So I just built this article on that. But Walter, I was wondering, have you heard the Carney speech
Uh-uh.
yesterday?
Oh, I saw it. I
Carney
didn't
made
get a
this
chance to listen to it. Yeah.
he made this speech pretty much saying that United States that people are just following, because they believe the United States is the best and all these things. And, the shopkeeper, he used the example of the shopkeeper in Russia and the shopkeeper
Uh-huh.
in Germany that would just put the sign out there, even though you know that they didn't believe in that. But it's just like, let's just keep going because this is how it is. And I don't want any problems. But the reality is that we have to say,
Oop, there
they
went the
turned the lights
lights.
out.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been this day for me, I'm sorry. It literally has been this day. Anyway, and if you are the shopkeeper that just doesn't put the fucking sign in the window to
Yes.
say that you're not going along with the America is the be all end all and we should just go with whatever they say. This
Yeah.
is wrong. We all have to stand up for what is going on wrong here.
Yeah. And what's so infuriating to me is how little of an effort it would take. I mean, we saw what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. People started canceling their subscriptions to Disney, and they got him
Yeah.
back on the news. And that was a major victory on our part. And people need to do it for something reasonable now, something for really good. Because ICE is stomping around in Minneapolis, just abusing people and beating people and separating people from their families. And all of you there, it's like, I mean, if you do nothing else, just don't send money to a millionaire. Just don't do it. Cancel all those subscriptions to those people. I mean, if take a minimum, I have on my page, I offer a full tier of all these subscription options. You can do as little as $20 a year. Just do the minimal thing. Just help us, help the people that are actually out there trying to work. And it's just, we
Mine's
need
like
to activate
$30 a
people.
year. I've got mine down to $30 a year, and you guys, I'm broke. I'm so broke. You have no idea. I've been applying for jobs since October. So if you can subscribe to me and Walter, that would be
Yeah.
so awesome.
Well, and somebody says, what
I
can we
love
do
y'all
about
who
ICE?
are. There's several of you here who follow me and pay. My few paid subscribers are here, and so I really appreciate you. Oh, my ears got all hot because I get so emotional.
Yes.
Y'all really, thank you.
Oh, yes, all the wonderful paid
Oh,
subscribers, we support you, and it's so appreciated, but it's an important question. They say, "What can we do about ICE?" And the number one thing is every single person here, you have to talk to other people, you gotta let people know what the atrocities are, download them onto your phone, and force people in your community to see it, because there's all
there's
this
so many
denial,
available online.
and they're
The
coming.
ICE list. Go to the ICE list. That guy, he's from the Netherlands, so he's a little more insulated than us. And you can just look it up. ICE list wiki, and I wish I had it. You go ahead, Walter, and talk. I'll find it and I'll
Yeah.
post it here.
Well, just people have to know. And we've got this deplorable situation with our Democrats. I almost don't even think about the Republicans anymore. The Democrats are just as much enablers of white supremacy as anything. And and they're talking about funding, even giving more funding to ICE, which has to stop. I've been going up to other white people and just saying, "Can you prove you're a U.S. citizen?" Just to make people see how uncomfortable that makes you feel. If you go up to a white person and say that, prove you're a U.S. citizen. What documents do you have? And they'll pull out a driver's license. That doesn't prove it. Your social security card doesn't prove it. None of these things prove it. You feel pretty uncomfortable now. How do you think other people feel? They shouldn't be doing this. I mean, it's insanity what's going on. They're walking around with their faces covered up, abusing people, beating people, and our elected representatives, our Democrats, aren't standing up, aren't calling them domestic terrorists. They're going to come to your community. Everybody watching, they are coming. So you have to prepare for this. We have to stop this. And the only way it's going to stop is if we stop it. We have to pressure our Democrats to stop just passively allowing it, and to give more funding to this
Oh,
action of cruelty, this secret police that's been infiltrated with white supremacists who are, they're awful. And hear about Border Patrol who have killed people. They've raped people. I mean, this stuff is going on, and people are acting like this isn't
that is
happening.
proven.
And yes, I've talked to many people, particularly people in the transgender community, who are, they're being targeted for extermination. It's like, people, it's happening. And you can't just
Well,
be passive. And you sure
let's
shit
get
can't be
this.
sponsoring Michael Cohen. Go ahead.
Well, Renee Good's partner is being investigated, yet Jonathan Ross is not. Like that, I mean, let's just go there. That's just insanity.
Yes.
Um,
And the Democrats, I mean, all they have to do is demand accountability to protect us, because if they're not doing that, and all of us, we have to demand that we're protected. Because if we're not, they're enabling ICE to just transgress even further. And they'll become more aggressive, and they're training more and more of them. And they're recruiting more and more white supremacists. It's no secret that they're recruiting people from white supremacy groups or people that were
and
pardoned for violent crimes. These are
from the old
awful, awful
militia.
human beings, and they have been enabled and empowered, by the authority of the government to come and hurt children and women and innocent people. And so we have to be aware of this. And I mean, at this point, the crimes of ICE are equal to the crimes of the Epstein files. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't want to say stop talking about the Epstein files. We got to talk about that too. Everybody
Well,
do
they're
your part.
related. I mean, are
Yes,
they not?
yes, but it's more. I mean, just calling it a cover up isn't correct, because you can't cover up a murder with another murder. And that's what's happening. And just
That
like
is
this lack of understanding, and it's among white people. It's white people are the ones that are acting like this is no big deal, who are still debating whether they should bring their MAGA uncle to a holiday dinner, and that's the extent of their concern. For fuck's sake, somebody's going to come knocking at your door. There was a memo being passed where they were giving themselves an allowance to just break into people's houses at this time. I mean, the Constitution is being
I
shredded,
saw that.
and just the absurdity of our lack of rights at this time. It's not anger. Somebody said, "Oh, okay, such angry men." ICE. I thought they were talking about me, but it's like I'm concerned for my family, is what it is. I mean, I've got an immigrant family. Um, you should be terrified. And I've been just saying to people, it's like, because I know they don't give a shit about my immigrant family. So I say, well, when ICE comes to the school to kill my kids, maybe they'll knock your kids down. And it's just like, just disgusting, isn't it? That you have to put it in those terms. And so just like the way white people just don't see the humanity, they don't see the loss of life, they don't see the cruelty, they've just got the shade. And they're willing to sit there and listen to Adam Kinzinger say stupid jokes about the president and never force him. I mean, if you unsubscribed from Kinzinger and left a note saying, I unsubscribed because you didn't call ICE a domestic terrorist organization, if 1,000 people did that, he'd get a message. And that's the kind of message we have to send. We have to be calling up our elected officials. We should be protesting at their houses because they are not protecting us.
I invited Adam Kinzinger on to appear with Walter and I.
Yeah.
Because I do follow Adam, and I've been a huge fan, honestly, because I am an independent. So during the January 6th hearings, I was just very grateful for Liz Cheney and Adam, who I did not like before the hearings, but because their loyalty to the Constitution, I felt a kindred spirit with them. And I still do. I still do feel a kindred spirit with anyone who does support the Constitution with passion, because there's few and far between these days. And I don't have to agree with them or what they're doing. And you're right, Walter. I don't know what Adam is bringing to the table. He does make a lot of funny quips, and I did watch his Netflix biography. It's really funny and good if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we got to,
I cannot get away. I cannot get by myself, guys.
it's these status quo people that we got to worry about. In Martin Luther King's The Letter from Birmingham Jail, Jack, I saw your wonderful comment. I want to talk to you about that at a later date. We'll talk about that. But in Martin Luther King's The Letter from Birmingham Jail, he says, worse than the Ku Klux Klanners, worse than these radicalized people are the centrists. The centrists are where the enemy is. The ones
really?
that maintain.
Am I the enemy? Yeah. Well, I'm starting to
Well,
believe that. I don't know. I need to fight.
I
I don't
mean,
know. I always go for the high middle.
I'm happy you're
Let
talking to me
everybody
about
else
it.
drop off.
I'm happy that you're talking to me about it. That's great. That's all we do. And you're very polite
But
and
I want to
courteous.
hear what you have to say, because I'm all open to it all. I mean, I literally stay open, because the point is
Yes.
to say the Constitution and let us all have these freedoms. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, see, because he's voted against the Constitution. He's not defending the Constitution right now. And I mean, he stood up because
Exactly.
the president tried to have him killed. I don't know if he was defending the Constitution. And I mean, Benny Thompson was on that. It's like, why does everybody see Adam Kinzinger as the face of the J6 hearings? Benny Thompson was the chairman. We should be why doesn't he get any accolades? And so it's like,
I love me some Benny. Are you
yeah.
kidding? I mean, I just, during the time there was a lot of pushback, and it did end both of their careers. And so I appreciated that they did not fall, like, even by Mitt Romney. Like, gross, dude. What a pussy. Like, stand up for something,
Yeah,
gross.
but I mean, Kinzinger voted against the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. I mean, he doesn't stand for universal health care. I mean, he's a Republican. He doesn't give a shit about working class people.
He
And
is
so it's
still a
just like,
Republican.
why are liberals giving that guy money? And so what we have to worry about is these guys, and it's as you said before, people that legitimately
I would never
switch.
pay for Adam. I just follow him. I wouldn't give him a dime, but I
Good,
follow
good.
him.
No, but I mean, I was listening to him for a while too, and until I'm starting to get sense of what's going on and seeing what's happening. But we're progressing now, and we're getting a better idea of what action needs to be taken in order for us to protect ourselves. And we have to be following and supporting the people that are mentioning that ICE is a domestic terror group they're walking around with their faces covered and just shooting people. I mean, I don't know what else do I have to do to get, and it's white people. I mean, You talk to the Hispanos, they're just like, yeah, that's terrifying. You talk to the black community, that's terrifying. LGBTQ plus, they know it's terrifying. It's only white people are just like, because they don't think it's gonna come to
It
them.
hasn't happened to them.
And you know what else is disgusting about that? That it's just they don't have any empathy for these other groups. I mean, that is deplorable. That is disgusting. Look at what's happening to people. I watched this video Arturo shared the other day. This little kid being reunited with his parents after
Oh,
being
that was
detained by
so
ICE.
heartbreaking with his
You have to
mother.
watch it.
Oh my
And
god,
it's like
yeah.
I didn't want to watch it because it breaks my heart. It makes me cry to watch that.
He
Jack, I
was
see him there. He was
15
there.
years old and
And
taken from his mother for 50 damn days.
yes,
My
and he just
child is
broke.
16.
This poor
It's
kid,
heartbreaking.
he's walking and his body just collapses. And I've seen that in real life too. And it's just white people have it's this is a white person problem. We have a white supremacy movement. The Confederacy has taken the White House. That's what's happened. White people are the base. Everybody likes to deflect from that. White supremacy is the
It
original
is.
sin of the United States of America. There are horrors here and people are abused. And what's going on today has always happened. ICE is nothing new. The Border Patrol is nothing new. They've always abducted people and abused people and raped people and murdered people. They've always done it. It's just people are paying attention now because it's threatening white people. It's threatening white people in Minneapolis. And that's just disgusting. I'm sorry to be mean about it, but we all have to wake up. And we can't just passively watch these status quo assholes who are like, oh, it's no big deal. Don't use extreme language like calling them domestic terror groups. It's all going to be fine. Just wait until the midterms. We have to act today. That poor little kid, there's other kids that haven't been reunited with their family. We have to demand this. It's like, Jesus Christ, people. You think you're a decent
I
human being. You have to do something now.
Let me jump in really quick because I've been meaning to say this for the past 10 minutes. We are making a difference. I
Yes.
think that some of us are contacting our representatives because today, as you guys know, Schumer, who is
Ah,
uh, bought and sold by
yeah.
oligarchic money, Blavatnik in particular, Schumer, Cuomo, the Clinton Foundation, they are bought and sold by Russian money, and that is partially why they're complicit. But Jeffries came out today, and it might have been Booker, came out and said finally that ICE doesn't need reforming, which is what they've been saying all fucking week. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
ICE needs to be abolished. It
Yes.
is
They're
not
saying it.
a police force. So that they finally came around today and said, oh, maybe we should defund ICE. Okay, so they're getting there. They're
Good.
not at least saying, let's reform. So that is some good that we're doing, but we need to keep that up. Five
Yes.
calls app, right? Every day, irritate the shit out of these people.
Show up at their
We are
houses.
louder.
Yeah. Ask the representatives if they're US citizens to see how they like it because it's a pretty terrifying question and once you realize you're not carrying proof of citizenship, I'm guessing most of the people here aren't carrying proof of citizenship. We're hearing
Kill.
about people getting detained, on trips and all I mean just all this stuff, the horrors that are going on right now. We can't but I do want to say though, Kat, and it's like it's not something that I figured out on day one. It's been the course of this year, talking with people, having all these conversations. So I applaud you, Kat, for coming here and talking to me and all the wonderful people here sitting here listening. We've
Oh,
had the
yeah, there's
veil pulled over our
226
eyes.
people.
Yes, and people like Kinzinger, those status quo apologists, they pretend to be our friends, but at the critical moment they sabotage us. I guarantee that's what's going to happen. They're going to repeal a vote, then they come forward with the well, I couldn't vote for that, and they'll give you some bullshit excuse. They sound just like Mike Johnson does. They never stand up for integrity. And they're taking the APAC money and they're taking the funding, the corporate
They're
money.
complicit.
Yes,
They're
and they've
complicit.
surrendered because being in the government is a cushy job. So they've surrendered their souls. Oh, I'm out of batteries again. So they've surrendered their souls so that they can keep their cushy jobs. And we need new people in. The primaries are coming up.
I agree.
Please go find a progressive candidate. If we get a 30%, forget the midterms. Midterms don't mean shit. The primaries are way more important because if we have like a 30% turnout for the midterms, we can transform our government completely. At that point, they will shit a brick. If they all get primaried, they will shit a brick. So
That's
go,
true.
and vote in the primaries. Find the progressive candidates. Follow guys like David Hogg with his Leaders We Deserve. There's people out there. Go talk to Bob Dana's on here too. He always directs me. He's got a whole list of places. Zoran is great. We can't Zoran is a naturalized citizen, so he can't be president, but he's got a lot of things that he can. There's plenty of offices he can do. He's doing great work right now, and he's the leader. And our money needs to be going to people like that. Send your money to Zoran, send it to AOC, who then use it to lift up these progressive candidates. Don't send it to any centrist. Don't send it to any moderate. Send it to the ones who are standing up for all the things that the centrists tell us we can't
Yes,
even ask
Martha.
for.
I'm
Send it
sorry,
to
I have to
those
cut
guys.
in.
Your
James
money is going to change it.
Talerico, I also do really support James. It's hard for me because I also love Jasmine, but I think that James Talerico is probably more realistic for Texas.
No, I
Just
don't.
because
I don't
you
believe
don't.
that. No, I think my concern about Tallarico is he has combined forces with James Carville, and James Carville is a disaster.
Oh
I think
no, has
he is
he? I
he is
didn't know
awful.
that. Yeah,
Carville's the
he is.
one you can go look it up, but he
Uh,
told Obama to go take a toke off a crack pipe. And the Democrats, through a super PAC, they still hire him as a consultant. If you've read Kamala Harris's book, we
no,
have all these
he
we
used to
have all
be
these
great. I used
saboteurs.
to love him, but he's turned a little just
Oh,
he's a bunch
Carville's
of
awful,
smart.
but we have all these saboteurs, and the language you used is something I've had to overcome too. Because yes, it's tempting to say, "Oh gosh, so much is at stake." I look like I'm just a floating head. I notice, but it's like, yeah, it's tempting to say so much is at stake. We need to get the safe candidate in. But if you elect one of these safe candidates because they're a centrist, and then they spend all their time voting with the Republicans, what the fuck good does that
It was
do?
fine.
So we have to
And
vote him.
Fetterman.
And also, I
Fetterman's a
mean,
great example,
oh yes.
right?
And Crockett is more qualified. She's held a federal position. Tallarico. I mean, there's all these new congressional districts. Once Crockett came in, because she's the more qualified candidate, she's the more popular candidate.
I love
He
my
should have
girl.
withdrawn and gone and done what he could to get in a congressional race. That would have been the thing. But there's a lot of racists in the Democratic Party. They sabotage Kamala Harris, and they'll do it the same way all these other centrists do. They'll present stuff that sounds reasonable, which is the worst thing to do. And at critical moments, they take the wind out of their sails. We've seen Schumer and Jeffries do that. We're on the verge of victory. They take the wind out of our sails again. We have to fix
We
our
have to
own
get
house.
rid of them.
Yes.
The reality is, Walter and you guys, all this research I'm doing on these back channels and stuff, there are so many Democrats that have been completely bought and sold by Russian money. And to me, like Schumer is the worst of the worst. He's like, well, the economy is the issue. No, no, MFer. The overthrow of democracy and treason and traitors in the White House are
Yeah.
the issue. Russia
Yes.
in the White House is the issue. And you're talking about the economy. And the economy is going to crash because that's what they want to happen for complete control. I mean, if Russia were in charge of the United States, I'd be
Yeah.
doing exactly what they're doing because that's
Yes.
exactly what's occurring.
Yes.
This isn't, and this is no tin hat. I am not a tin hat. I am not. I had not even
Yes.
gotten involved with the Epstein files or looked at it because I just thought that is too conspiracy theory for me. And now the more I'm reading about it, I'm like, oh my God, yes, it all makes sense. Like all of it is definitely occurring. These are the richest men in the world trying to
Yes.
protect themselves, protect their power and status. If you look
Yes.
at personality disorder, this is exact. They probably all have personality disorder. They're protecting themselves and they don't care. And they're
Yep.
protecting their image.
Yes. And look at two. I mean, Zoran Mandani won the primary, and the Democratic Party did everything they could to sabotage his campaign.
They
So,
did.
and it's like all these Democrats, these high profile corporate Democrats, they all have Ivy League degrees. They'll sit there and tell us to go blue no matter who. But when we get a progressive that wins a primary, they spend, the money people donate to sabotage that. And so they did the same damn thing with Kamala Harris. They did not want Kamala Harris to be the president. And Pelosi was talking about
They
running.
didn't.
Pelosi was talking about running a primary, and it's like you guys have 107 days. She wants to run a primary because she wanted to anoint her preferred candidate that would be more of a centrist candidate because they were afraid because Kamala Harris is a person who has prosecuted child sex traffickers. She wasn't going to sit there and be quiet. And
Right.
I really appreciate Kamala. Some people have tried to smear her by saying she was a centrist. I view her as a a brilliant leader who was working within the system. I thought she was more progressive than
You
Obama
have
doing
to
the
work
same sort
in
of
the
thing.
system.
We need people
Exactly,
inside. We need people inside.
exactly.
But the
When I
centrist,
think of when I think of myself and being an independent, it's more because you have to work with other people. Yeah, I don't really believe in those things, but you have to work with other people.
yeah.
And it
So we need to some extent guys like that. But of course the centrists are instantly going to throw that person to the wolves. Centrist Democrats always blame the progressives. I've said it before. They always say we can't go too far left, but then they never say we can't go too far to the what side of white supremacy. That's just left unsaid. And it's just this silent.
Clinton was considered a centrist.
Well, they have all been. Yeah.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah. They're all centrists. The whole
I
Democratic
think
Party is
Clinton was
centrist.
the best president of my lifetime, and I'm 57. I by hands down, Clinton was the best president because he worked across the aisle, but I mean, the small business loans alone. He gave people the opportunity to open their own businesses for families. It's people that I know are still in business, like the liquor store down the street, 3 or 4 restaurants in my neighborhood where I grew up, still in business that got their small business loan with their families through Clinton.
Mhm. I mean, I appreciate some of the things he did. I probably would lean towards Obama. I mean, the Affordable Care Act was so important. Although even the Affordable
I
Care Act,
lost everything under Obama, sorry, and he was gonna cap credit
you know
cards, he
what?
did not do that.
Yeah,
He really sided so much more with corporate than I thought he was going to, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that was a problem. But I mean, that's the emphasis is that all of our presidents have been right wing. They're all, even when we get a Democrat in there, it's a right wing president. They
They
deliberately
caved.
keep progressives out. So it's like you look around at it, it's like nothing works. Nothing works in America. All we have is conservative leadership. Conservative leadership doesn't work. We need to start, and we're seeing it. The people are finally awakening to this. And yes, all those pressure tactics are out there where they'll tell us all these things just to make us not lift our voices up. But their entitlement. The Democrats who just don't want primaries. We should demand primaries in every single election just because when you have 6 candidates canvassing your area, you get your message out. Democrats don't even try to get their message out because all they do is wait for Republicans to overreach, and then they are Republican light, where they come in, they make things marginally better. But even with all their Ivy League degrees, they don't really try to reform our country. And this is the critical thing about this moment we're in history. It's not enough to defeat one person. The post turtle, the orange post turtle, he didn't get there by merit. He was put there. He got put there because that's the way this corrupt system is designed to work. It's designed to suppress brilliant black women like Kamala Harris and elevate less than mediocre, repugnant, repulsive white dudes like that Nepo baby asshole dementia pedophile that's currently in the office right now. So we have to deconstruct that system, everybody. And it's like everybody, I need white people, especially. Everybody else knows.
Hold on.
Everybody racial group knows. Go ahead.
Oh, we have to also, like, Rose is talking about Willie Horton. I mean, we also have to know, like, some of the techniques that they use to brainwash us into thinking
Oh, yes.
something is totally occurring when it's not. And this whole immigrant thing is completely made up, you guys. I will shit you not. I know that during George W. Bush, because I lived in the valley of Texas, right on the border, that there were per population now and then, it was the exact same amount of immigrants that were coming over. However, there are more now because there's more people on the planet, but also that they gave incentives. You guys, you know that they were dropping flyers all through Central America
Yeah.
saying that there were jobs and Medicare. People have attested to this. The immigrants that came in those caravans had those flyers in their hands. They were dropped from airplanes. I mean, that happened. This is not tin hat shit. They
Yeah.
wanted it to have the optics that all these immigrants were coming. It was covered on Fox over and over. But the reality was under George W., there were so many immigrants here as well. We didn't have these problems. This was a manufactured issue
Mhm.
for Trump to gain some traction.
Yeah. It's white supremacy. It's because the United States, all of us were indoctrinated with white supremacy from the moment we're born in this country. And he's triggered it so that you always make these other groups.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, It's not
What is it?
illegal to cross the border. This is so important, people. We have to emphasize this over and over again. You can cross the
That's in
border.
my ice paper. All American laws, the whole US Constitution applies to everyone touching our soil.
Yes.
It's not just for people who belong here.
Yes.
And let's go with illegal immigrant. That's propaganda. There's no such thing as an illegal
Correct.
immigrant.
Correct.
It's an undocumented immigrant.
Yep.
And it's not illegal to be undocumented.
Correct.
It's an infraction. I mean, it's not illegal.
And they don't deserve to be murdered without due process. They don't deserve to be
Exactly.
raped. They
Or
don't deserve
shipped
to be
off to
shot in the
Nigeria,
face.
a country they never came from. I mean,
They're having their kids stripped from them. These are people that are taking, and I mean, just this, this cruelty that's going out there, and it's the white people with their heads in the sand pretending this isn't happening. And if you allow that, it's been happening for decades. I mean, it's been decades, people. And this is it. Somebody mentioned, they want like experience. They talk about experience. The only thing our old school Democrats have experience with is losing. All they do is lose over and over again. We need new blood in there. We need new people in there. But yeah, it's like immigrants don't cause crimes. They're orders of magnitude fewer crimes than Americans do. Immigrants
way
are
less.
highly educated, and the reason we have immigrants coming in is because the United States goes and destabilizes countries, particularly in South America. They kidnapped the president like they did in Venezuela, destabilize the whole area. Particularly when a progressive gets elected in those countries, the United States goes and messes with it. And until we start talking about these things and stop the United States from fucking around in South America and torturing people and just pretending it's not happening because we still get Netflix or whatever. This is the thing. It's like you still go to school, things still seem normal, but it's building and it's coming, and it's sooner or later somebody you care about is going to be brutally, maybe killed, violated, detained. Something awful is guaranteed to happen to somebody you love unless we stop this, unless we start pressuring our Democrats to stop this, to go back to the actual protections of the Constitution, to stop allowing an unaccountable police force made up of white supremacists and violent criminals who have had no training and who feel that they are above the law and they are entitled to shoot people in the face. That has to stop. And it's like, yes, hi Natasha, great to see you. And yes, keep on. And I mean, it is. We got to keep on the Epstein files too, because there's a lot of evidence, a lot of these banks, a lot of our whole financial system, all the people with money, like throughout the whole world. That's just their playground. Like kidnapping little kids and raping them is their playground. That's what rich people do. So that has to all come down.
Hey, I have to tell you guys too that Lev Parnas came up with a petition today that he's demanding Michael Wolff, Steve Bannon, and Michael Cohen
Yeah.
testify in front of Congress, because the reality is that it has been exposed that all three of them are in the Epstein files. We already know this of what they've dumped. All
Yeah.
three of these men know more than they're saying, and they need to go under oath and tell us what they know about the Epstein files. Go
Yeah.
sign the petition. I don't know where it is. I wanted to put it here. I'll put it up on my site and put it out, and I'll put it in the chats tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if you guys can go find it, I'm sure
That's
it's
a
on
good
Lev.
start. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's a good start. I'm hoping though, I mean, there's other resources.
Bannon,
I mean,
Natasha, Steve Bannon.
there are state representatives we could be approaching too. I mean, anybody you can think of. And I
Todd
always
Paul
say, yeah, all yeah, and we gotta just you can't let people walk around with their head in a cloud who don't realize what's happening right now. And I've said before, ICE is so entitled, what's stopping a copycat school shooter from dressing up like ICE and going into your school where your kid is and murdering everybody there, demanding that they can come in because the right wing media has everybody convinced. They think there's so many people that think it's acceptable for these people to just stomp in wherever they go without having to show identification. They don't identify themselves as law
uh,
enforcement agents. We're setting something up. This is being set up for just an atrocity. It's like the death lottery. Somebody here, probably by the end of the month, somebody who's in this chat is going to have somebody they know be killed by all this lack of this lawlessness that's being enabled by this white supremacist administration. Be sobered by that and use the knowledge. Be afraid of that and use that fear to call up your representative, take some action, call up state representatives, see if there's anything you can do on any level. They got Al Capone on tax evasion. Start getting these other guys for something. Start doxing those agents if you can.
Hey, speaking of which, that you brought up earlier, and I just briefly saw before we came on that ICE has been telling a lot of the new recruits that are going out on the streets. And as you guys know, they have 47 days of training, and Trump is 47th president. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Don't get lost on that is his secret police. Okay, anyway, he's telling the new recruits that they are allowed to go into homes without a warrant.
yeah,
That is not
it's not legal.
true.
No.
So you were just saying it. Let's find these loopholes. The reality is, if you're going to come into my home, I don't give a shit who you are. I am in Texas. I will shoot your ass, and be prepared to shoot these people breaking into your home with no warrant. The videos that I have seen, they literally had said subpoena. As you guys know, a subpoena is something you hand somebody to show up in court. So look at the paperwork. They are already handing people illegal paperwork, strong arming their way into people's homes already to arrest people without the proper paperwork, unsigned warrants. I mean, and you're right, not showing your face, not showing your badge, no due process. All of those things define secret police and not law
Yeah.
enforcement. Law enforcement protects and serves citizens and follow our laws that we've all agreed on and uphold our laws. So the second you take away due process, somebody's face and their identification, you're dealing secret police.
Yeah, and and we can't have it be violence. We can't we there's so much we can do. I mean, this is the hardest part because they really wanna provoke us. I'm sorry, but we have to say we have to be non yeah, we have to be nonviolence.
Okay,
It
you're right.
because
I'm sorry. Ignore
I
me
was
entirely.
yeah, well, and I don't mean to be flippant, but I was talking, with your weirdo friend about it, and the studies show they're trying to provoke us into violence, and that's what's
That's
terrifying.
true.
And if the violence happens, they're just gonna unleash it because 'cause they've got the combined might of the US military, and it's just I mean,
Do they?
we have to. All of our strategies have to be nonviolent, they have to be peaceful, but the reality is there's a lot we can do, and people
I
that the
believe that
violence
up
isn't
until
gonna
you
help.
come into my home. I literally believe total all that up until you bust into my home. I'm sorry. I do not bust into my home with no warrants and no cause,
Yeah, we
right?
have to
I don't
I think
know.
let's talk about it this way, let's talk about it this way. That's up sets up a very dangerous situation, and we just have to tell our politicians should talk about that. If somebody breaks
Yeah.
into your house in the middle of the night, but we just say we have to prevent that. So let's talk about it
Okay.
in that let's
You're
phrase
right.
it
You're
that
right.
way. Look, let's prevent this. If you are and it's just dangerous, and I think the example I was using before
You're right.
about a cosplaying person, it's like we have no idea if they're cosplaying as ICE. Because I am never gonna, perform any act of violence against any federal officer. I'm not gonna do that. That's my standing thing. We have to have the message. And this is why I get mad at people like Adam Kinzinger. He should be talking about this. He should be crying for this to stop because people keep pretending that this isn't happening, and they're distracting us and they're deflecting to these other situations, and then they're acting like we're unreasonable for demanding that ICE be defunded. I think the whole police force needs to be defunded. I don't think anybody in the United States should ever be shot or I don't disarmed. I don't think
I don't
anybody should
believe that.
be shot. I don't think anybody should ever be shot by a police officer. I don't think there's any reason for law enforcement officers to have guns. I don't think they should have them. Let's start talking like that. Let's stop all the violence in the United. That's where I'm sitting from. Let's stop violence. Stop the violence. And so once we kind of get that going, because they're just looking to provoke us. They want to create some sort of a massacre. They've been, and to the credit of the people in Minnesota who have been enduring just hell. They've been enduring hell and they've been peaceably demonstrating and opposing this with whistles, with community. And that's where our power is. Because the second people start being provoked and attacking federal officers, they'll kill us all, is what's going to happen. But we have the power while we're
You're kind of funny because you guys, I used to be, believe it or not, I was a bouncer on 6th Street. I'm only 5'3" and I'm a little person. I was really good at that because I diffuse situations. And you're right. I mean, there are lots of countries that do not use guns in their police force, or you're right. There are many ways
yes,
to diffuse situations.
yeah, and we
But
just don't tell.
again, we also live in a country of people that are completely armed. And like I said, you're busting into my house. We know you're armed. And
Yeah.
let's get into that they've been using this hydrochloroethane, which is a cancer causing, heart stopping,
Yeah. Yeah.
lung, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
chemical agent that most people do not use, and they've been using it
Yeah,
as
it's
tear
illegal.
gas. It's not tear gas, it's a
ICE.
chemical agent, and they've been using it.
Yep.
ICE has been using it in
They're using
Portland
it on
and in
babies.
Minnesota.
And the reality is too, it's just a myth. I might like this idea that, like this old west thing, like somebody breaks in you've got no power. It's like with the weapons that they have, with these chemical agents that they're using. I mean, just get rid of this illusion that you can defend yourself against this. They're gonna come into your house and kill you. You're not gonna be able to do anything. They have shit that we've never heard of that they're gonna deploy against us because 'cause they're just beyond law right now. So it's like, just put that idea out of the side that you can fight back. The only way we can fight back is with nonviolence and putting pressure on our representatives to actually stand up for us, hold them accountable, and insist that when
Yeah,
these agents are, and we have to keep documenting them because the regime will try to hide and change the story. We have to demand accountability, because if we're not demanding accountability, the other ones out there are just going to transgress further and further. Bullies never
you're right.
stop until they are stopped by the people. It has to be stopped, but it has to be this collective legal action. It's not going to be vigilantes ever. That'll never work.
That's true. That's true. I feel bad that I told you guys to shoot people who break into your house, but literally, if I'm dead asleep and my door's being broke down and I know I haven't done anything, you might get shot. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. You busted down my door and I don't know what's going on and I've got to protect my kids.
Yeah. Well, that's the illusion. That's the illusion of the American dream. But it's just, I mean, it's just realistically, I mean, people think that they think they're protected, not protected by that. We'd be protected by the Constitution is what protects us, and that's the thing that's being
You're
violated,
right.
and we have to defend the Constitution. We have to prevent them co it's like,
That's
don't even think about
what we
them
have to
anymore.
defend.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
the Constitution is just being ignored entirely, and I brought up here to you guys the definition of the rule of law. If you guys haven't seen, I gave my kids the immigration and naturalization test for
Yeah,
citizens just for our civics class that we were doing, and I just thought, "Oh my gosh, there's some of these that I didn't know all of them." And I also know that most people can't even tell us what the 3 branches of government are, so I'm doing this little series about all these 100
yeah.
questions. But the rule of law, most people don't even know what that is. So I will read it to you guys really quickly. The rule of law is the principle that all people and all institutions, including the government, are
Mhm,
accountable to publicly known, equally enforced, and independently adjudicated laws. We're all accountable under the law,
mhm.
ensuring non-arbitrary system where everyone is subject to the same legal standards, upholding the rights and preventing abuse of power.
Yeah. I mean, the rule of law is a great thing, but I also wanna mention, and something else Americans just need to come to terms with, is that the founding fathers, they were all slave owners. That makes them white supremacists. When they wrote the Constitution, they never intended, white supremacists never write a law they tend to apply to themselves. White supremacists never make a deal they intend to honor. So it's almost by accident that there were good things in the Constitution where later generations came along and said, let's actually make this apply to everybody. And that's the advantage of all the good things that happen in our society. But the founding fathers, I mean, even calling them a founding fathers is a nod to patriarchal systems. Thomas Jefferson was a child rapist. He raped Sally Hemings when she was 14 and he was
Sally.
44. And
Yeah.
so,
And
it's
she was
like,
like 14, right? How
yes,
old was she?
yep. And he never, and he waited until his will, the slave,
Sorry. Yeah.
to free his children that were slaves. So that's the piece of shit that we honor, that we carry around his picture in our pocket. And, just people need to start coming to terms with these things, because it's this denial where we like to have that beautiful picture. Oh, let's just talk. But, like America is like that family that posts all this lovely shit on Facebook all the time. Oh, my life is so great. My husband's so wonderful and my job is so perfect. But if you know them, you know everything in their life is absolute shit. That's America. There's this veneer of greatness or goodness. It's all bullshit. Underneath it is all just rot. And it's time we put the veneer
Walter,
away. We accepted the ugly truth so that we could actually have a beautiful reality. Yeah, that's the
I
change we have to
have
make.
to I have to talk about it though, because we do live in a culture of narcissism, and a
Yeah.
huge part of narcissism is this keeping up of appearances. And I talk about it all the time. I grew up in an upper white middle class world, trust funds in private school. And it's, they'll tell you that Christianity and their children are the most important, but I'm telling you, your children are at least at 12. They start at number 12. Your car, your hair, where you go, your job, your house, all those things are way more important than your kids. Always. I've watched it and I treat these kids in addiction treatment. I
Yeah.
am friends. I've traveled the world with the granddaughter of Marjorie Merriweather Post.
Mm.
Her mom, Dina Merrill, sold Mar-a-Lago to Trump. And that's a funny story. Like, they're just people. They're just people.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
make mistakes. They have sometimes different problems than we do because they have a lot of money, but they have the same issues. They're just different problems because there's money involved. But it's the same issues. We always
yeah,
have to look for the byline of what makes us human. And
yeah,
we're all easily manipulated and we all fall for stupid
yeah,
things. And the point is that we have to stand behind our ethical values in life,
yeah,
and being honest, I think, is so important, and being humble. When you
yeah,
start thinking that you're superior to other people, it doesn't say
yes.
that anywhere in the Bible. Where in the hell did that come from?
No.
Christians use this, and it is not anywhere in the Bible. We don't even know what color Jesus was. Like, do not pretend that the Bible says that there are the white people deserve shit
Yes,
because it's not
yes.
in there.
Yep, and it's just white supremacy is a perversion of a lot of Christian beliefs. It's a perversion of those things, and America just has to come to terms with the fact that there is a strong, and I'm talking, eh, tens of millions. I would say, I would say all Republicans who voted in this last election are unapologetically white supremacists. And I would say about half the Democrats are passively white supremacists, which is,
Oh,
which is
wow.
arguably worse because they just put their heads in the sand and they pretend it. It's time for us to face the truth. And we have to, once you remove white supremacy is the cause of every single bad thing in your life. I promise you this is the case. We're kind of running out on time, but I will say it's like, look, just keep coming back to these things. We'll keep talking about these things. We'll walk it through it. And I appreciate everybody for being here because these are tough concepts. But again, based on what we were saying before, please, please, please support Cat, support me. We need it more than these millionaires who are pretending to be your friends, but they're saying the old lines of bullshit because they want to protect a status quo that enriches them and fucks you over. So we're the people that are going to be defending you. There's more like me on Substack. I'll direct you to them, but your money is how
No
we
one
win
like
this. So
Walter.
please, please, please.
Walter.
Thank you. Thank you. Please subscribe. Please become a paying subscriber if you can. Keep coming back to these conversations. And then just tell other people and just let's face it. Let's face the ugly truth so that we can have prosperity for a change. Because if we live in a state of denial, you're disempowered to ever make a change. And so that's the change we need to do. But yeah, we're closing in on the end of time.
Preach, Walter, preach. Yeah, that was beautiful. That's a
Thank you.
great notion to end on. And y'all please follow Walter if you can, and
Cat
follow me
too?
too, or
Yes.
subscribe. I'm looking for paid subscribers. Apparently you don't go anywhere unless people pay for you. I'm only $3 a month, and I know that Walter is super
Oh, I've got
inexpensive
a whole
as
tier.
well.
You can pay whatever you like. And I
Oh,
had
how'd you do that?
Oh, I just have a whole bunch of discount codes. If you scroll to the bottom of any article, you'll see anything from $20, 30% off, 40, everything. But yeah, we had some expenses this week, so it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful to have a couple more paid subscribers. But yeah, I just love all you guys. Thanks for the support, and it means so much. We are making a difference. Your phone calls and everything. If we've gotten the Democrats to actually start talking about defunding ICE, that's huge. That's where we need to go. But there's so much more to go, and we're going to be there all the way to the end.
And that just happened today, you guys. So yes, please do the 5 call app to all of your reps and tell them to defund ICE, abolish ICE, because they are a
Oh,
secret police.
they're not
The
helping us.
Firebrand Project, we just put out an article today. I wrote it about ICE, and I built the argument that they are not law enforcement anymore.
No,
So
it's
check it
bad.
out. And you guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We
Yep,
appreciate you all so much.
yep,
I love all y'all.
yep. Thank you all. Have a
Thank
great
you,
night.
Walter.
Yep. Thank you so much,
I
Kat.
love you. All right.
Get some rest. Love you
Bye,
all.
you guys.
Bye bye.